Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is Money Monday, it's August 3rd, and we get to hear from Michael Huggins. Michael Huggins is an amazing individual who I've had the pleasure of knowing for a long time. He and Vanessa are good dear friends of mine. I've known them probably 14, 15 years. And I'm just so grateful that Michael and Vanessa found Renatus because a lot of us would not be here if it weren't for them. Michael was Before Renatus, he and Vanessa were very, very frustrated financially, and they feel like they had done everything right, everything they were told to do right as far as getting good grades, getting a good job, but still found themselves just drowning in student loans and just very frustrated living paycheck to paycheck. They were living with Vanessa's mother at the time before they were married. And Michael was actually working two jobs. He was working for Jiffy Lube and Sears Auto. And he even had a degree in auto mechanics and still found himself, again, working paycheck to paycheck and frustrated. So Michael had heard about real estate investing. He looked into it and, again, grateful that he found Renatus. We fast forward to today. Now Michael has earned multiple seven figures with this business, as well as completed many real estate transactions. He has most recently purchased over 240 acres in Tennessee of forest land and is building cabins and a beautiful farm. And it's just an incredible business plan with what they're doing in Tennessee. So amazing individuals. And we're very fortunate to get to learn from Michael Huggins. Good morning, Michael. How are you today?
Good morning, everybody. Doing fantastic. Thank you, Keely. What's up, everyone? Good morning, Will. Good morning, Pete, Matthew, Gilda, Arif. Good morning, everyone. Let's make some money. All right, we got a cat on the screen. What's up, Bobby? And Levi and Cheryl and Pedro. Anthony Mallet. What's up, everyone? Okay, good to see all of you. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. The intensive, that was pretty awesome. What's up, Alan? Good to see you. We had, at least in my world, we had a blast with the intensive. How did it go for everyone else? Did you enjoy it? Did you watch the whole thing?
I enjoyed it. I loved it.
Yeah, that was some good stuff. Cool. It was amazing, amazing, solid, amazing, awesome, awesome. Good. Cool. So in the room that I was hosting, because we had a few people who weren't able to efficiently hop on. So I just ended up hosting a Zoom room. And we had, at one point, 85 people just in my Zoom room. But I have no idea what the total was for everyone that was there. But now the opportunity is following up, calling all those people who joined, even if they were only on for 5 minutes, and figuring out what they want to be involved in. So I talk about follow-up all the time, and so I forget what exactly we've covered, what I need to cover again, what's new to you, what to review. Is there any way to watch the replay? Well, I will figure out how to make that happen for you, Anthony. When we have our PAC call later today, I'm gonna find out if I can send out that recording to everybody. Because then if we could do that, then we can capture some people who missed it. Cool. Okay. So, yeah, my pleasure, Leslie. looking around the room going, you know what? I can't wait for people to fix it. I'm going to be a part of the solution. Okay. So, how many of us have, we've done a poll before, we've done a survey before, but when it comes to doing the follow-up, when I say the follow-up, I mean the step called follow-up. There's no the follow-up. Okay, it's just call your folks and get their credit card number. It's just like that, right? That's what they're waiting for. When I put myself in the shoes of the customer, I don't go around looking for people and holding out my credit card and saying, will you take it? Will you take it? But when people call me and they're selling something, they ask for it. Or when I'm clicking on something, right? I was looking at some different lawnmowers. I know it sounds silly. I was looking at some lawnmowers, okay? Nowhere does it say, do you want to put a credit card info in here? It says, buy now. So we have to be that for our folks. Call them up. Hey, Jack, what you saw? Great. And let's buy now. How many of you, and I know some of you are driving whatever, so maybe you can't type the answer in, but how many of you have bought a training before Renatus? Before you joined Renatus, how many of you bought another training? Okay. So Kevin's waving his hand. He did. Yeah, just a training, not real estate, just a training. Okay. So Anthony, Pete, Cheryl, Brian, Lisa, Anna, Dustin, Lorraine, Deborah, Jenna, Roxanne, Levi, Billy, Bilal, Bill, Wanda, Sylvia, Jenna, Andy, Rick, Kim, Scarlett, Charlene, Ada, LaShawn, Mike, Bobby, William, David. Okay, so plenty of us have bought training before. Daniel, okay, awesome. So buying training is very normal in this country. It's like, it's one of the most common things ever. So what I want to understand, what I would like to see is that we take this very normal thing called buying training in America, and we're going out to the world now, and normalizing it inside of ourselves. The super salespeople that sold you the stuff, or maybe you just bought it online without talking to someone, whatever. When that person made that thing, they wanted to make some money. Yes, they wanted to make a difference in your life and make a training and do all that. But they wanted to make some freaking money. So what I keep seeing is some of us are totally fine with making money, and some of us are totally, absolutely scared of making money. And I've never really understood why people are afraid of making money, except for what I hear. I still don't understand it, but what I hear is, what will they think of me if I make money off of them? I've heard that a bunch. What will my friends think of me if I make money off of them? I don't know. But why don't you try it and see? What are people gonna think if I make money off of them? Well, if you give them more than what they paid for, they're probably going to thank you for it. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to assign everyone a book. And maybe, Anthony, you could find it on YouTube and drop the link. But the book is called, it's by Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. Okay, The Science of Getting Rich. I don't know why I'm not able to mute Bilal. There we go. Okay. Okay. The Science of Getting Rich. Everybody's got to read it. Okay, maybe 5 times this year, maybe 10 times this year. Maybe it's a weekly read. It's a very small book. It's a short book. I don't even think it's 100 pages. Okay, here it is in YouTube. Anthony just dropped a link in here. So if you were listening to it on YouTube, awesome. Unabridged with commentary. So if we took out the commentary, it'd be even less. But it was written in 1910. And basically, it's pretty awesome. What he talks about in there is, obviously by the definition, the science of getting rich. But the only way to effectively get rich is by exchanging something for more than it's worth. If you're creating a value of more than what the exchange is worth, then you're going to win all day. And he uses an example in there of a really fancy, let's say the Mona Lisa, an incredible painting, right, worth millions and millions of dollars. So there's the economic value, okay? And now he says, if you were to go exchange that with an Inuit, with an Eskimo, someone who lives up north and they're hunting seals and they live in an igloo and that's just their lifestyle, and good for them. But let's say you were to trade a seal that they just caught for this painting. The painting's worth millions of dollars. The seals, it's food for a while. Is that a fair exchange? Millions of dollars for this. The reason why it's not a fair exchange in that context is because there's no use value for the guy for the painting. Okay. So what would be a more even exchange would be maybe some boots or a club or a compass or something useful. So use value for the exchange value. There's always got to be use value for the exchange value. Okay. So once I understood that, oh, okay, as long as we're giving someone more in value than the money we're receiving, we can get rich. Right? That's why you got to do appraisals on houses, because the money for the value, the bank wants to know. It's just as long as the value is there. That's one beautiful thing about capitalism, especially, is that if we are controlling the value that we're giving for the money we're receiving, as long as the value is higher than the money, even if it's just a teeny bit, you're good. But the bigger it is, the richer you're going to get, because word's going to spread. So the question is, when we're selling Renatus programs, the essentials, the advanced, the extreme, the profits, when we're selling these things, is the value higher than the dollar amount that we're offering? Is the value, let's say for the profits course, it's $3,000, 2,997, is the value of the class more than the dollars? I'm getting a majorly, a yes, 100%, I'm also supposed to let everybody know that Inuit is the preferred nomenclature and Eskimo is out. Throw it away. Stop using it. But I always thought Inuit was like a specific part of North America. And Eskimo was like a general term for any part of the Arctic, whether it was Russia, Greenland, Iceland. But I don't know. I'm still learning here. Okay, Roxanne says yes. Scarlett says yes. Bobby says yes. Anthony Mount says 9 times the value at least. Okay. So what we're all clear on, is there anyone here who's like, I don't know, right? You could be yourself here, right? We're all about honesty and openness here. Is there anyone here who's like, it's barely worth it? It's exactly worth $29.97, or you know what? It's actually worth. I think it's worth $2,500, or I think it's worth $2,000. I think it's worth $1,500 or $500 or $100. Anyone here who thinks it's less? Got 101 folks on the line. Okay. Well, I'm not hearing anyone say no. Okay. So, in the case of the money transfer for the value exchange, if it's worth $29.97, it's worth more than that, and we receive $29.97, then the world can keep spinning. It's a fair exchange. We're good to go. Everyone's happy. There's a ton of value for each person there. Okay. So if we checked off the value there, yep. What else is stopping people from asking for the sale? Because we had a boatload of people on. Okay. What else is stopping people from asking for the sale? Because if we can get over that, it would be weird, honestly, right? If we're trying to sell something and it's only worth $2,000 and we're asking $3,000, that would be tough. We probably wouldn't have 100 people on the call right now. All right. I don't know if you guys have ever been to like a Porsche dealership or an Audi dealership. You should try it sometime. Wear a mask, obviously, every time you go out. But when you go there, guess what? There are 100, 200, $300,000 cars there. The person you're talking to, the salesperson, most likely is not driving the nicest car that they're selling. Most likely, they might be driving a Porsche, an Audi, but they're not actually driving the nicest car there. But guess what? They sure are selling it. They're happy to sell you one, okay? So because they know that the value for the use value is there. You're gonna spend 100 grand, but you're gonna get this kind of car. It's gonna be a ton of fun. Spend 200 grand, you get this kind of car. It's gonna be even more fun. You get this feature and that feature. So if they were selling cars for less than what the value is, obviously they wouldn't be in business either. No one can stay in business and sell something for less, for more than the value of what it's worth. They're not selling $200,000 cars for $500,000. So what I'm trying to understand here is if we have 1,000 people watch the webinar, 100 people, 10, doesn't matter. If we can accurately convey to them, hey, it's absolutely worth it. You know, one thing that's not worth it that I hear people that is still in business is college, right? Like the university racket. People are spending 30, 50, 80, $100,000 on something for that kind of education, but then not getting the value out of that. That's something bizarre. Okay, so I got a couple more chats in here. Charlene says that the client's current circumstances. Okay. Joe says they limit themselves by their situation by thinking that their customer is not ready for some reason. Anthony says it's a lack of confidence in the product and confidence in ourselves. Okay, Anna admits it, that she sometimes in the past wrongly judged what they can afford. Okay. Okay, so Anissa wants me to elaborate on the actual value versus perceived value in the context of use and exchange value. Okay, so there's one more layer to it. So there's the perceived value, there's the use value, then there's the economic value. Our opportunity is in raising the perceived value because the use value and the economic value are already there. So if someone moves $3,000 out of their bank account and moves it over to Renatus, Renatus is going to move more than $3,000 worth of information and training and support and value over to them. Now, one of the biggest reasons I can point out as to how that's true is lifetime membership. That's huge. There are so many other companies that people pay $3,000 for a 3-day weekend, or they pay $3,000 for a 1-year membership. So just on that one premise alone of it being a lifetime membership, the use value is already higher than the exchange value, than the $3,000. Or the 20,000 for that matter. The 20,000 bucks, 23,000 if we're buying everything, still by the time you count all of the classes, all the material, all the spreadsheets, all the contracts, all the workbooks, all the mentoring, all the one-on-one coaching, all of that, that is definitely, that's about $100,000. Now, how do we measure that? Right? I'm not just making up a number, but I'm measuring it against what other people, other competent, sober, willing people pay for the same kind of thing, right? Comparable sales. If we look at that house, and they're all worth 100,000, and that same kind of house over here is worth 23,000, and actually has more features, then we can say, hey, that's at a discount. So the best way to do that is go look at the marketplace. What are other competent, sober, willing people spending their money on? If people are spending $100,000 on a 1 or 2 year real estate membership for less hours of training and less support, then we can say ours that has more training and more support is actually worth more and costs less. We just do our comparable sales, right? Our essentials course, 1997. I've been to a ton, probably 15, maybe even 20 workshops where people will spend 1997 for a 3-day workshop. A 3-day workshop where you're not allowed to network, you're not allowed to ask other people for their phone numbers. You can't record it. It's a one-time event, and half the time they're upselling you. So we got all these negatives that I just listed. But someone is still willing to open up their wallet and pay $19.97 for it. And they're going to get some value out of it. So when we look over here and it's 10 classes, networking is encouraged, everything's recorded, and no one's trying to sell you anything in the courses. So if people are paying $19.97 for all of this stuff, and it's 3 days, and we're asking $19.97 and there's all this stuff, the use value, the economic value, the perceived value is much higher. That's why I can look at everyone in the face and say, give me $2,000 now, you'll thank me later. Because I know if they don't buy it from me, but they're still interested in training, that some way, somehow, they're going to click on something else, they're going to get something in the mail, someone's going to call them, Google AdWords, something is going to hit them where they want, where they're going to end up spending that money somewhere else. So I think, well, heck, if they're going to spend that money, who can finish the line? Who's heard me say this before? If they're going to spend that money,
might as well spend it with me.
Give it to me.
They might as well spend it with me. Absolutely. If they're going to spend that money, they might as well spend it with me. You got it, Charlene. You got it, William. That's it. You got it, Ada. If they're going to spend that money, they might as well spend it with me. Okay? Now, the other thing that reinforces this as a truth for me is when I hear other folks who spent more than $2,000 come and watch Renatus' stuff and go, yep, totally worth it. Or they spend more than $20,000 and come and watch Renatus' stuff and they say, yep, I wish I would have bought this first. I would have spent that money for this value, but I get it for $20,000 instead of $50,000. Yep, might as well spend it with me. If you're gonna spend it, you might as well spend it with me. So the economic value, the use value is already there. And then we get third-party validation from places like the Best of State organizations, Inc. 5000, BBB, Google ratings. All these places are also saying, hey, this is a valuable thing. So we got third party, we got current testimonials, we got comparable sales out in the marketplace. And then I start to think, okay, so the use value is there. All this stuff is already lined up. The function of it is there. We have happy customers. Compared to the marketplace, we're already undercutting everyone. The price is lower and the value is higher than anyone else on the market. Okay. So people are still willing to spend it. Kevin Woods brings up an interesting point. He says, when I started, I questioned the value of Renatus because the price was so low compared to what I spent elsewhere. That is definitely an interesting perspective. Right? Kevin thinks the price was low. How many of you, we had to beat you over the head and say, hey, quit calling the price high. You keep calling $20,000 a lot of money. It's not. So some of you think it's a lot, some of you think it's a little. This is our opportunity to now create the perceived value. Yep, compared low to what I spent. Yep. Okay, so the perceived value. And this is why we're doing it with house tours, intensives, workshops, video series, webinars, Facebook groups, three-way calls. All of this extra stuff is to help you create the perception for your customer. At some point, there has to be some minor amount of trust because they're not going to know that it works. When I was listening to Jim Rohn, you know, he got rich selling supplements. Right now, every Tom, Dick, and Harry is selling supplements. But when he first got started, he would say, you know, people would come up to him and they'd say, well, how do I know it's going to work for me? Right? And he's like, well, guys, gals, the only way for you to know is by taking the damn pill, taking your vitamins. That's how you're going to know. So some of your customers are, well, how do I know it's good? Just watch the class. That's how you'll know. I mean, after all these people saying it, third party, current customers, you got to taste it, right? Through webinars, intensives, workshops. You got to taste some of it. There has to be a little bit of trust. So that's why in a lot of these sales trainings, they'll talk about using that line. Well, do you trust me? Well, I just need you to trust me for 7 days. Right? Give it a shot. There has to be some trust, or else, like, how do you know, like, that food that you bought, that restaurant that you went to, that movie that you paid for, right? Like, you go spend $15 to go watch a damn movie. Even on iMovie, you got to spend $15. But you trusted enough of the little teeny bit you got to give up the money. So you got to ask your customers for that. Trust just a little bit. I've never had any complaints about the education. Had complaints about certain ICMs, right? Being what I would affectionately call them as shitheads. ICMs doing different things like that. But as far as complaints about the education, never. In 10 years, we've never had a complaint about the education itself. So what we're selling works. Some of the things with Helios is marketing and email stuff. Okay, that stuff is still getting worked out. But people are paying for the email system. They're paying for real estate training. They're paying for the profits training. So what we're selling works. So I've recently used a line, and we talked about it for a while, but I'll bring it up again. When we're talking with customers and we've gone through the briefing, intro, follow-up, okay, we're on to the time where it's time to ask for money and ask for a sale. And we say, okay, are you ready to get started? Yes? Maybe? Okay, well, let me ask you this. Do you believe that if I set you up with an account and you log in with your login and password and you click on a class and hit play, do you believe that a class is going to play or a clown is going to pop up that says, ha ha, gotcha? What do you believe? Put it back on them. What do you believe? And the next thing is, it's only 2 questions. The next one is, do you believe that if you call me next week, that I'm going to answer my phone? Okay. Well, if that's the case, then let's get started. What's your credit card number? And then you just start typing. Okay. To me, it's a no-brainer, and I guess that's why I get to make the money I make. But for everyone else, they're so stuck in their head, they're more afraid of something that will actually never happen. Isn't that weird that humans are more afraid of things that have never happened or will never happen than of things that have actually happened? So I consider all of you who are on the call now the elite part of Renatus, because you get up early on a Monday morning to be a part of the calls. So I consider you the elite crew. There are other ICMs who all they do is they log in the last week of December and renew their ICM, and that's it. But they don't hop on the calls, they don't hop on the trainings, they don't bring guests. So you folks here are a different group of people. So with that being said, what it comes down to is, I guess it comes down to your belief, right? Like if you believe that what you're selling is worth the dollars you're asking for, right? Do you think the guy who works at Subway sandwiches for those $5 subs, he goes, I don't know, man, these are really $1 subs. I have a hard time working here. No, he loves it. He puts his love and energy into it. And he says, man, you're getting a bargain. This is a $10 sandwich. You're paying $5 for it. Come back tomorrow. So maybe some of you would feel better if we raise the price. Should we start charging 40 grand? Start charging 50 grand so we can start to bring more of the value in the dollar exchange there. But some of you are, I think maybe I figured it out. Yeah, no, we're not raising the price. It's not the product's value, because the product's value is there. Got all the customers saying it. You obviously think the value is there. You wouldn't be here. What it might come down to is you have an old concept of dollars, right? In the K through 12 training program that all of us were brainwashed into. Is that the right word, brainwashed? Anyway, subconsciously and sometimes overtly, they would put in there that this dollars per hour concept. Dollars per hour, dollars per hour, dollars per hour. And if you're a high school graduate, you get this many dollars per hour. If you get this degree, you get this many dollars. And this degree, you get this many dollars per hour. Okay. So then we go, okay, so if I'm just a regular American, in order for me to make $100, I might need to work 5 hours. Okay. So if we're making 20 bucks an hour, we make $40,000 a year. So if I want 100 bucks, I got to work 5 hours. 100 bucks, I need to work 5 hours. Okay. So we get this ratio in our head. Okay. So if I work a full day, maybe I get 200 bucks. Okay. So 200 bucks for a hard day's work. And you start to create this as a standard. And then along comes Renatus and we say, hey, if you work 2 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours with a customer, and end up buying our top program, we'll pay you 10,000. Then you go, whoa, wait a minute. 10,000? I'm supposed to work 500 hours to get $10,000. According to the brainwashing programs, if you're making 20 bucks an hour, it will take you 500 hours to make $10,000. So then here we go. We offer this amazing system where people like Bill Pratibon and Dane Clark and Scott Rowe and Wanda Carrasquillo are doing the exposure and the selling process for you. They're doing the hard work for you. And you just put customers in front of them. And when they make the sale, you get 10,000 bucks. And you go, wait a minute. I didn't work hard enough for this money. I didn't work hard enough for this money. I'm going to screw up the sale. I'm not going to call them back. I'm not going to do this follow-up. I'm not going to send that email. I'm not going to ask for the order because I need to work harder for this money. I need to make sure at least 500 hours go by before I get $10,000. Because that's what my old training told me to do. Now, you're not saying that, but damn it, you're thinking that. And you know how I know you're thinking that? Because that's what you're doing. All right? And your actions are just a delayed evidence of your thoughts. Your actions are just delayed evidence of your thoughts. So if you really think, this is the key here. This is the key now. Everyone here, this is the game. We're going to unlock this obstacle that I just exposed to everyone. What we have to do is brainwash ourselves into the understanding that we are worth $10,000 an hour. If you're worth $10,000 an hour, and then it takes 2 hours to close the sale, well, now you're getting pissed off. Because you're only going to make 10,000. Well, damn it, I spent 2 hours on it. I should be getting 20 grand because I'm 10,000 bucks an hour. If we start to raise this understanding and this commitment and this perspective in our minds that we are worth 10,000 bucks an hour, then when that money shows up, we don't freak out. But if we think we're worth 20 bucks an hour and that money shows up, we freak out and go, oh no, I didn't work hard enough for this money. But it's not about working hard, it's the value exchange. That's it, the value exchange. We exchanged all this training from this company and this customer to this company. And we're in the middle as the marketer. So value exchange happened. Happy company because they have a customer. Happy customer because they have a training company. So if we raise this understanding, we're worth 10,000 bucks an hour, 10,000 bucks an hour, 10,000 bucks an hour. It might be a stretch for some of you. So maybe for the first couple weeks, 1,000 bucks an hour. But if you're coachable, you can jump right to 10,000 bucks an hour. So if we did all that brainwashing telling us beforehand that we were worth 20 bucks an hour, well, what the heck is brainwashing? How does that occur? What does that look like? How do you recognize it when you see brainwashing? Okay, Q says belief. Tell me more. What is brainwashing? Because in the context of me saying brainwash yourself into 10,000 bucks an hour, I'm using it in a positive context. So brainwashing is not good or bad. Okay, it just is. It is what it is. How you go about it, you could create or destroy with it.
You won't settle for less?
Well, that is something you can brainwash yourself to do. But what I'm saying is, what is brainwashing? Ruthie says action without thought. That is being brainwashed. But what is brainwashing?
Persuasion or
marketing.
Okay, so Kyle says conditioning yourself to an idea. Autumn says repeatedly being told something about you until you believe it.
Reprogramming.
Okay. Anthony says brainwash is hearing the same concept over and over till it creates a groove that becomes your belief system. Pete says a paradigm shift. Juana says a statement is that statement is a reassociation. Tamara says influencing people to think a certain way. Mike White says marketing, reframing, reprogramming, convincing yourself you can do something. Okay. So someone told me that the root word of convince, con means with, and vince means win. Did you guys ever hear that? Convince means win with. Okay, so what brainwashing really is functionally, what it is repetition of a certain concept or belief. And it can be subtle, it can be loud, it can be quiet, it can be inception, it can be blaring block letters on the wall, right? It's this repetition of an idea. It's just over and over and over and over. It's repetition of an idea. Okay? So what you have to do if you're going to brainwash yourself is And the reason why I can say this with this group and not with other people is because other people don't necessarily have a way of making 10,000 bucks in an hour. So to them, it would just be facetious hot air. But to you folks on the line here, because you can, and you do have a viable, practical, very logical way of making 10,000 bucks in an hour, that you can then tell yourself you're worth 10,000 bucks an hour. With honesty and sincerity, you are worth 10,000 bucks an hour. So I am brainwashing myself to be the 5-star winner circle champion for 2021. I have dozens of these all over the place. I got it on the wall here. I got it on my ceiling fan. I got it next to light switches. I got it all over my laptop and my computer. I got it on different pieces of paper. I got it everywhere. Okay. The other thing I do for brainwashing is, well, what does the 5-star winner circle winner get? They get a Viking cruise to Budapest. You got to get that weird SH before the T, Budapest, or else you're not saying it right. You know why I know? Because I'm already imagining myself being in Hungary. That's why. And I'm just, it's constantly going in. I'm watching the videos. I'm seeing what kind of boat we're going on. I'm looking at all the tours. I'm looking at the country. I'm learning some of the language because I'm just brainwashing myself to be prepared to be in Hungary next year. Okay? So you brainwash yourself with videos. You brainwash yourself with mantras. You brainwash yourself with text. You brainwash yourself with self-talk. You brainwash yourself with little jingles. Day by day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Whatever. I don't give a crap what you do. Brainwash yourself. Brainwash yourself. And if we're only going to focus on one thing, in our business, it would be I'm worth 10,000 bucks an hour. Because if you knew you were worth 10,000 bucks an hour, then when you met a customer and you gave them to Renatus, Renatus gave you 10,000 bucks, you wouldn't have an issue with it. Because they're going to spend the money. They might as well spend it with you. Spend it with me. Okay, well, that's what I wanted to share with you folks this morning. Hey, Alvin, I saw you pop in there. What's up? Good to see you guys. So, this real estate and entrepreneurial education industry is a multi-billion-dollar year industry. People are this year going to spend billions of dollars on it, on entrepreneurial training. So if they're gonna spend it, they might as well spend it with me. Okay. My other mantra on top of I'm worth 10,000 bucks an hour is it's as easy as doing it. So write that one down. It's as easy as doing it. It's as easy as doing it. So, well, what do I have to do? Well, it doesn't matter because it's as easy as doing it. Making phone calls, easy as doing it. Making webinars, making emails, following up, asking for the sale, it's as easy as doing it. How easy is it? It's as easy as doing it. Okay, you guys are awesome. Thanks for showing up today. And if they're gonna spend the money, they might as well spend it with you. So make your follow-up calls this week. Ask for the sale. You're worth 10,000 bucks an hour. You're probably going to have to tell yourself 1,000 times. 1,000 times that you're worth 10,000 bucks an hour. Okay? So get it going. Start now. And we'll start to see the actions of your thoughts. We'll start to see that manifest. So make it happen. Appreciate and love all of you for being here. I'm so grateful that I get to work with an amazing group of people like you all. So make the best of your day. Make the best of your week. Have a fantastic Smile and Dial session. And Keely, you are the host. So thanks for hosting this. And we'll see you all later. Bye now.
Thank you, Michael.